हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शंकरं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। Let us begin with the Shanti mantra. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We shall chant from mantra number 1. Section 22. Yada vai sukham labhate अथ करोति ना सुखम लब्ध्वा करोति सुखमेव लब्ध्वा करोति सुखम त्वेव विजिज्ञासितव्यमिति सुखम भगवो विजिज्ञास इति यो वै भूमा तत्सुखम नाल्पे सुखमस्ति भूमैव सुखम भूमा त्वेव विजिज्ञासितव्य इति भूमानं भगवो विजिज्ञास इति यत्र नान्यत् पश्यति नान्यत् शृणोति नान्यत् विजानाति स भूमा अथ यत्र अन्यत् पश्यति अन्यत् शृणोति अन्यत् विजानाति तदल्पम् यो वै भूमा तदमृतम् अथ यदल्पम् तन्मर्त्यम् स भगव कस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठित इति स्वे महिम्नि यदि वा न महिम्नि इति. So the teacher Sanat Kumar ji tells Narad ji that when we understand the sukha, when we have the expectation of sukha, then we put forth effort, then we do our sadhana sincerely and try to gain that enlightenment. So one has to understand the sukha properly. See, unless the goal is very clear, our journey will not be effective. Because when we undertake any journey, we have to understand exactly what is our destination, where we want to reach. If our destination is not clear or if it is vague, then our effort also will be ineffective. So here on the spiritual path also, we have to understand exactly what we want. And what we want is sukha only. In the world also, people run after sukha, but that is all temporary. It culminates in sorrow, pain, or more and more delusion. But this eternal sukha is something which will remain with us eternally, because it is the very nature of our own self, which we have to recognize, which we have to realize. So we have to understand this sukha properly. So what is this sukha? The teacher says that infinity itself is sukha. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham asti. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Na alpe sukham asti. That which is infinite, that alone is sukha. There is no sukha in the finite. And that infinite is indicated here with this new term, Bhuma. So what is elsewhere said as Brahma, that Brahma alone is indicated here as Bhuma, means that which is infinite. So Bhuma eva sukham. Bhuma tu eva vijitnyasitavya. So we have to recognize this Bhuma. So Narad ji then requests the teacher to reveal this Bhuma to him. So this is the most difficult task, because Bhuma is infinite. So that which is infinite cannot be defined in any terms, because we can talk about things which are limited, if they have some qualities, if they have some activities, if they have some relationship, then one can talk about it. But that which is infinite, what can one say? So, in a very mysterious way, the teacher reveals this infinite. He says that yatra na anyat pashyati, na anyat shrunoti, na anyat vijanati, sa bhuma. That bhuma is that in which these things are not there. So, by negating all this, the bhuma is indicated. So, what is not there in bhuma? In bhuma, na anyat pashyati. One doesn't see anything else. Means there is no seer seeing something other than himself with some instrument of seeing. So na anyat pashyati. Also na anyat shrunoti. In bhuma, no one hears anything different. Means there is no person who is listening with an instrument of listening to something different, to some sound. So by mentioning these two sense organs, the teacher also indicates the other sense organs are also not functioning. Means there is no one to touch anything, or no one to smell or taste, and there are no objects to be smelled, there are no objects to be touched, there is nothing other. So there is no division of knower and known. This division is not there in Bhuma. Also, na anyat vijanati. There is nothing to be known. There is no knower knowing something else. There is no thinker thinking something else. So this Dvaita is not there. Shankaracharya ji in his commentary, he explains this mantra by saying that there is no seer, no listener, no one thinking of something different, no one knowing something different. So then there is this question which Shankaracharya ji raises in his commentary, as though he is asking his students, okay, what did you understand from this mantra, from this sentence? Kikim atra prasiddha anya darshana abhavah bhumni uchyate na anyat pashyati ityadina atha anyatra pashyati anyatra anyan na pashyati atmanam pashyati iti etat. What did you understand from this? Is it that there is absence of any transaction in that bhuma, that there is no seeing, there is no hearing, there is no tasting, there is no touching, there is no thinking, there is no knowing? Is the absence of all these transactions are indicated through this mantra, or it is said that one doesn't see anything else, but one sees oneself, अथ अन्यं न पश्यति आत्मानं पश्यति इति एतत्. That one doesn't see anything else. So does it mean that one sees oneself? Or is it indicated that there are no transactions in that Bhuma? So the student asked the teacher that what does it what is the use of this thinking? So Shankaracharya ji again replies. He says that if there are no transaction, if by saying that one doesn't see anything, one doesn't hear anything, the teacher is negating all transaction. So yadi anyat darshanadi abhavamatram iti uchyate tada dvaita sam vyavahara vilakshano bhuma iti uktam bhavati. By saying that there is no transaction, no seeing, no hearing, no tasting, no thinking, no knowing happening, the teacher is indicating that there is no dvaita vyavahar, there is no transaction of duality in that bhuma. And if the teacher says that no, it doesn't see anything else but sees oneself, so the student is asking, what if that is what is indicated? That one doesn't see anything else in Bhuma, but one sees oneself. Shankaracharya says that seeing oneself is also not proper. It also indicates the continuation of samsara only. Shankaracharya writes, कि ननो अयम एव दोषः samsara anivrittihi. If one says that one is seeing oneself, then that is not the end of samsara. Because what is samsara? Shankaracharya writes कि kriya karaka phala bhedah hi samsara iti. The division of a doer doing something for a particular result, that itself is samsara. This different types of vyavhar which one does of doing, seeing, hearing, tasting, thinking, and then the result which we gain because of this vyavhar, that itself is samsara. And if one says that the person sees oneself, that is also vyavhar within ourselves. If I say I see myself, that means I am there to see, and something other than me or some division, some part of me is there which I am seeing, then that also indicates a vyavhar within us, and that also indicates a division within us, which is not proper, which is not right. Because the scripture talks about no division in the self. And scripture talks about that oneness. Shankaracharya writes, कि न तत्वमसि iti ekatva upadeshat. In the Upadesh which is given even in the previous chapter of Tattvamasi, it indicates that there is no division between Tvam and Tat. It is oneness which is indicated. Hmm. Even there are so many other mantras in the Upanishad which indicate oneness. Therefore, when it is said in this mantra that Bhuma is that in which one doesn't see anything, one doesn't hear anything, one doesn't think anything, one doesn't know anything else, what the teacher indicates is absence of all vyavahar, absence of all transaction. Absence of all transaction is absence of all transactions of duality. There is no transaction of duality in that Bhuma because there is only one tattva there. There are no divisions in it. See, even for transaction to happen, there must be some division. If I have to see, then I must be there, a seer, and some object must be there different from me, which I can see. If I have to hear something, then I should be there to hear a sound which is different from me. So, for all vyavahar, means for all transactions, duality is required. Without duality, transaction will not happen. But the Shastras everywhere indicate that Supreme Tattva is one only. So, in that one Tattva, there are no divisions of any kind. There is no division of seer and seen, and there is no division within the self also. There are no divisions within the self. See, for example, our own body. I can see my hand, though the whole body is myself. I can see my hand. With my eyes, I can see my hand because the eyes are different and hands are different. So there is a difference within this body. There is a bhed. But in case of that Brahma, there is no bhed. In case of that Supreme Self, there is no bhed of any kind. There is no one part of the self seeing other part of the self. There is no one part of that Brahma experiencing other part of Brahma. There are no divisions of any kind. There is no bhed in that Supreme Tattva. And that is what is indicated by this mantra. कि न अन्यत पश्यति, न अन्यत शृणोति, न अन्यत विजानाति, means there is no seer and there is nothing to be seen. There is no knower and there is nothing to be known. So all this vyavahar, dvaita vyavahar is negated. But then the student again raises a question. If all this is negated, then why the term yatra is used in this mantra? Ki yatra iti visheshanam anarthakam praptam iti chet. Because in the mantra it is said that in that bhuma there is no seer and seen division. One doesn't see anything else, one doesn't hear anything else. So why that term yatra is used? Why even talk about it? That one doesn't see anything, one doesn't hear anything. Why even talk about this Dvaita? So teacher very nicely he says a very important point कि अविद्याकृत भेद अपेक्षत्वात्, that in a state of avidya one experiences Dvaita, and in order to negate this the teacher is using such language. In our other places also, that Supreme Brahma is not only indicated as one, Ekameva, but the scriptures also indicate that Brahma as not two, Advayam, Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. That Supreme Brahma is Ekam, but the scripture doesn't stop there. He says it is Advitiyam. It is not two. So why not two is being said? Why not just say one and stop there? Not two is said because in a state of ignorance, all of us experience duality. Duality is experienced by all in a state of ignorance. So the scriptures not only indicate that Supreme Brahma is one, but also negates this duality by saying Advitiyam, Neha Nanasti Kinchana, there is no duality of any kind. The duality is negated to take into account the experiences of an ignorant person. So, because of this avidya, one experiences this duality. Shankaracharya writes कि अविद्यावस्थायाम अन्य दर्शन अनुवादेन च भूम्नः तद अभावत्व लक्षणस्य विवक्षित्वात् न अन्यत् पश्यति इति विशेषणम्. Because in a state of avidya, one sees something different. In a state of avidya, I feel I am the seer, and this world is something which is seen. So I am different, this world is different. I feel I am the listener and I hear something, some sound which is different from me. I feel I am the knower and I know something which is different from me. This is the experience of almost all of us. When we look at this world, we look at this world as different from us. So I am the experiencer in this world, I am the doer in this world, I am the knower of this world, and the world is different. So this difference is experienced. This is called Dvaita. See, this is very important because many people, they feel the world is Dvaita. And they try to negate this world by saying that it is mithya, it is an illusion, it is not there. So that is a misunderstanding about the teachings of the Upanishads. The Upanishads are not negating the world. The Upanishad is negating this Dvaita Vyavahar. Shankaracharya writes कि तस्मात् संसार व्यवहारो भूमनि न अस्ति इति समुदायार्थः. This व्यवहार of Dvaita itself is called samsara vyavahar, It is not there in this Bhuma. So how to understand this now? Because I experience myself as a seer, as a knower of this world which is different from me. So through all this teaching which we have seen before also, what is this world which we are experiencing? The teacher has revealed the world through this cause and effect uh, method, that the world is ultimately the ultimate cause, or the upadan karan of this world is that supreme Brahma. The cause of this world is Brahma. Therefore, that Brahma is present in this world. Just like the clay is the cause of this pot, so the clay is present in this pot. So Brahma is present in the world. But if I am seeing this world, that means I am seeing that Brahma who is present in this world. That means I am different and Brahma is different. The teacher again, the Vedanta again teaches that I who is seeing this world, who is experiencing this world, what is the reality of this I? What is the nature of this I? In the Jagrat Avastha, I experience myself as seeing this world through my senses. In the Swapna Avastha, I experience myself experiencing the dream world through the mind. But in deep sleep, I get separated from the physical body as well as this world, as well as my antakarana. I remain alone. And that is who I really am. The one who remains separated from the body, the mind, the world in deep sleep. That is my real nature. That is who I am, separate from all this. In me, there is no body. In me, there is no mind. But who am I really is not recognized. Who am I, which is different from this body, mind, intellect, this world? Only the name is given as Kshetrajna, who is different, who is the seer of the Kshetra. The name is given to me as Pratyagatma, the innermost self. But who is this innermost self? That innermost self is also indicated as Brahma through the Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. That I is indicated as Brahma. If this is understood, I am Brahma, this world is also Brahma. So when I and the world are same, then there is no duality. There is no duality in me and this world. Means the world is myself. The swarupa of this world and swarupa of myself is same. Not knowing this swarupa, I consider myself different from this world, and there is this Dvaita Vyavhar. But when I come to know that I and the world are same, then I transcend this Dvaita Vyavhar. I transcend these transactions of duality. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. Again, to take the example of our deep sleep. In deep sleep, I alone am there. And in that me, what is happening? Nothing is happening. There is no seeing, hearing, tasting, touching. In deep sleep, I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, I don't touch anything, I don't think of anything, I don't understand anything. So I alone am there. In that I, there is no vyavhar happening, there is no transactions happening. In that I am Brahma. And that same Brahma is expressing as this world. So even when it seems that I am transacting with this world, but from the standpoint of my real nature, real self, there is no transaction. There is no vyavhar. So that Dvaita Vyavhar is negated here by saying that in that Bhuma, one doesn't see anything different, one doesn't hear anything different. Nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunati, nanyat vijanati. Sa Bhuma. So, an enlightened person who has recognized what the scriptures are indicating, who has realized his real nature, how does he look at this world? Because the world continues to exist. The body of the enlightened person continues to exist. The mind, the intellect of the enlightened person continues to exist. The senses of the enlightened person continues to exist. So how does he, what is the experience of such an enlightened person? His experience is called Sarvatma Bhav. When he looks at this world, he sees the whole world as his own self. He looks at this world, means through the eyes he can see the world. Through the ears he can hear the world. But what is his realization? What is his understanding? That the seer and the seen are one. The knower and the known are one. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the experience of this enlightened person is indicated very beautifully in that mantra, wherein he sings this song of enlightenment. Ahamannam, 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 ahamannado, ohamannado, ohamannadah, Ahagga shloka kratagga shloka kratagga shloka krata. In this way, the enlightened person says aham annam, aham annam, aham annam, and aham annado. This whole world is like a food which we experience. So he says that whole world of food is myself. Aham annam. I am the food. And who is the eater of the food? He says, I myself am the eater of the food also. Aham annam, aham annado. I am the eater of this food. Means I am the one who is seeing this world and I am the one who is being seen. I am the eater and I am the one which is being eaten. See, to understand this, let us take the example of a mirror. See, when I look at this world, I experience myself as different, world as different. But just imagine you are looking into the mirror. I am looking at the mirror, but there is that person in that mirror. Who is that person who is looking at me? Who is the person who is looking at me? That person is also myself. So an enlightened person experiences everything as his own self. Means everything exists, everything remains. The world doesn't disappear. The seer doesn't disappear. But he understands that the seer and the seen are one. Atma va idagam sarvam, that Atma alone is everything. So that is called Sarvatma Bhav. In Ishavasya Upanishad, we had seen those mantras. Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani cha Atmani Pashyati. Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Pashyati. He sees the entire creation in his own self. And he sees himself in the whole world. When he is looking at this world, he sees himself as this world. And when he has closed his eyes, he experiences the whole world in himself. So that is what is indicated here in this mantra. In that Bhuma, there is no division of seer and seen, knower and known. And this Bhuma we experience in our deep sleep. But we have to understand this first intellectually and experience it in our waking. The meditator and the object of meditation becomes one. See, when Gangaji flows from the Himalayas, where is it going? She is going toward the ocean. And what happens when she meets the ocean? So much of struggle to go to the ocean, starting all the way from Mount Kailash. Gangaji travels such a long distance with so much of enthusiasm, so much of excitement to meet the ocean, because the ocean is the source. Ocean is the Swarupa of Gangaji. But what happens when she meets the ocean? She becomes one with that ocean. There is no Ganga separate. There is only ocean. Similarly, in the state of ignorance, I am the seeker, seeking that Brahma. I put forth effort, I do all the sadhanas, I purify my mind, I do some upasana, I gain that knowledge from the teacher that I am that Brahma. Manobuddhya ankara chittani naham न च श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमि न तेजो न वायुः. All this seen when it is negated, I, that Pratyagatma, that I am Brahma. And once that Brahma is recognized, then when I look at this world, I find that I am this world. World is also myself. World is not different from me. So there is this Sarvatma Bhav. Everything is myself. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina. Bhagavan says, I pervade this whole world. He showed Arjuna his Vishwarupa. The whole world Arjuna could see in Bhagavan. So that is what is indicated here with that one line. Ki yatra nanyat pashyati nanyat shrunati nanyat vijanati sa bhuma. Further, the teacher says ki atha yatra anyat pashyati anyat shrunati anyat vijanati tad alpam. That when a person sees something different, that I am a seer, I see something different from me, I am a knower, I know something different from me, I am a listener, I listen to something different from me, then that experience, that knowing itself is alpa, is not recognizing Bhuma, is seeing division in Bhuma, and that is because of avidya. So, atha yatra avidya vishaye, Shankaracharya writes in his bhashya, कि यथा अथ यत्र अविद्या विषये, due to avidya, in the field of avidya, anyo annena anyat pashyati, one who is different with the instrument which is different sees something which is different, and that is tad alpam. And avidya kala bhavi iti ityartha, and it remains when we are ignorant. Shankaracharya gives example of swapna. Yatha swapna drishyam vastu prak prabodhat tat kala bhavi iti tadvat. Just like in a dream. When we are dreaming, I see myself in that dream. I see a world of dream. I interact with the world. Sometimes people give a party in their dream. So a lot of people have come and you have thrown a party, a lot of food, a lot of singing and dancing, a lot of fun you are having, interacting with your friends. talking to them, listening to them. And when you wake up, what happens? Where does the party go? What happened to all the people who had come? What happened to all the food which was there? Everything just merges into you. The dream world remains in the dream only. Everything, there is only you alone are there now. No division of people, no division of food, no division of any party in you. The dream world is not there. Similarly, due to ignorance, we experience duality. I am different, world is different, other person is different, devtas are different, God is different. But when we gain that knowledge, this duality gets negated. World doesn't get negated. I don't get negated. Gods don't get negated. Everything remains as it is. Duality gets negative. I become everything. Everything becomes myself. I become everything. That is how duality is negated. This is a very important point because misunderstanding about this has created this notion in people's mind that that the Upanishads are talking about negating the world as mithya. World is not mithya. It's a misunderstanding. Duality is mithya. Duality is false. I am different, world is different, that notion is false. I, the seer of the world, and world is seen, that notion is false. The seer, the seeing, and the seen world are same. Just like ornaments. Different ornaments are made. Physically, just looking at the form, they are different. No doubt about that. But as gold, they are all one. The bangles, the necklaces, the earrings, the nose rings, all of them are one only. There is no division of any kind. Similarly, for an enlightened person, everything is one. Everything is there, but everything is one. Therefore, the term sarva is used. Sarvam khalvidam brahma. Everything is Brahma. Everything is Brahma means everything is there, but everything is Brahma. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma doesn't mean Brahma alone is there and everything is mithya. Not like that. Everything is Brahma. Like so many different pots and tiles and bricks are there. So all of them are there. And then we are told that everything is clay. So this Dvaita Vyavhar is not there in that Brahma. And in the state of ignorance, when we experience this Dvaita, when we feel or when we think it is true, this Dvaita is true, that is due to ignorance only. And it is all temporary, it's all what you call martyam. It gets destroyed. It constantly changes and then gets destroyed. So tadeva tan martyam vinashi swapna vastuvat, like the dream world. So tad viparito bhuma yastad amrutam. Different from that, that bhuma is amrutam, is immortal, indestructible, ever existing. So after revealing this bhuma, the student asked the teacher, when this was revealed, the student asked, then on what is this bhuma established? Satarhi evam lakshano bhuma he bhagwan kasmin pratishtita iti uktavantam naradam pratyaha sanat kumaraha. So Naradji asked the teacher, Ki this bhuma, what you are talking about, what is the support of this bhuma? The teacher says, Swe mahimni iti. It is established in itself. It is stationed in itself. See, in this world, we find that everything needs some support. Even if I want to keep a cup, I need the table to keep it. So, where is this bhuma stationed? What supports this bhuma? Says nothing, it is supported by itself. Swa atmiye mahimni mahatme vibhutao pratishtito bhuma. In its own glory, it is established, doesn't require anything else. And from a higher standpoint, yadi pratishtitami ichhasi, yadi pratishtam ichhasi, kvachid yadi va paramartham eva pritchasi. If from a absolute standpoint, if you are asking where is it stationed, where is it, what supports it, then the teacher says, na mahimni api pratishtita iti. Then one can say it is not even supported by itself. Apratishto anyashrito bhuma kvachit api ityartaha. It is not, it doesn't need any support. It is supportless, it is just there, bhuma. If at all you are asking about support, it is supported by itself. But from a higher standpoint, it is not even supported by itself. It is. So thus, the teacher revealed this most fascinating bhuma, but still some more mantras are there to further clarify all doubts about this bhuma that we will see in our class on Monday. So till then, you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again. Think about it. Mainly, you have to remove all wrong notions from your head. That is the first step. Because after listening to so many pravachans from all different sources, reading so many different types of books, we have accumulated all sorts of notions in our head. So what is required is to clean our antakarana of all the wrong notions. And when you listen to the Upanishad, listen with a fresh mind, with a total faith and with a deep sense of acceptance one should hear. So we will see this more about this on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.